Welcome to Art Club. We are going to have a fabulous snow-inspired week ahead of us to get ready for this winter season, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So first and foremost, for today and for many of the days this week, you're going to want to make sure that you're always set up ready to paint. So that might mean having an art smock on. If you don't have an art smock, it might mean turning your shirt inside out, because we are going to be using acrylic paint. And as you probably know, that doesn't really come out of clothing very well. But if you've got your shirt inside out, it shouldn't really matter as much, or you've got your smock on. But get that set up. Another thing, you're going to want your space set up as well. We don't want to be getting paint all over your table or desk or whatever space you're working at. So maybe you've got an art tablecloth, or like me, maybe you've got, I like to have a paper bag down like this, so you could use a paper bag. You'll notice that for today I also have this piece of parchment paper. Wax paper also works well for this, for my paint to go on. So we're going to be using this rolly tool. It's called a brayer. We're going to be using that today to transfer our paint to our bubble wrap. So just think of something that you can put the paint on. Now, if your brayer fits inside your painter's palette, and it's going to kind of depend on which painter's palette you got and which size brayer you ended up getting. So check and see if it fits inside of that. You could use that for your spot to roll, to put the white paint and to roll it. But my painter's palette doesn't even have a big center space, so I'm using parchment paper instead. So kind of look at what you have at your home, get that stuff all set up and ready to go. Okay, and then supplies that we are going to need to gather from all of our art supplies. We'll need our bubble wrap. Okay, yours might already have a little cut out of it. That's fine. I'm just going to show you the size that we need by starting with a fresh one. We'll need our white paint and our brayer, obviously our paint station set up. And we're going to want 2 pieces of blue paper as well. Let me show you what it's going to look like. By the end of our day today, you should have 2 pieces of paper that look like a blizzard is happening on it. It's going to be fun. All right, so first step here, we're going to need to make our bubble wrap into a more manageable size. I mean, this could work, and it would actually kind of cover the whole piece of blue paper all at once. But it's going to be a little clumsy and hard to manage, and it's probably going to be messy. So for that reason, I recommend cutting it in quarters. So it ends up being about 6 inches by 6 inches. So you can see, kind of compare it to the size of my hand. Okay, something like that. So I just folded my bubble wrap in half, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that, like that. And I can put one half aside. We can save that for another day and time. So now I've got one that's like 6 inches by 12 inches. Once again, I'm going to fold it in half and cut it. Just like that. Put that one aside. And there we go. Now I've got one that's about 6 inches by 6 inches, which is a manageable size, and yet we can cover it in just a few short moments. Our paper will be covered in snow. Here we go. Go ahead and grab out your white paint. Put a nice size dollop. Ooh, my white paint's running out here. I have to see if I can get a nice size dollop. I just have to grab a new one. There we go. All right, there's my white paint. I'm going to take my brayer. This is really fun. We're going to roll it in the paint. Now, you can probably, I don't know, can you see how thick that is on there? There, you can kind of see it's really thick on there. So I'm going to just roll it out a bit. We want it to cover the whole brayer, but we want it not too thick. Let's see if we can, so you can see now it's not so thick. All right, and we're going to roll it. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's 2 sides of your bubble wrap. One side's more smooth, the other side's more bumpy. We want the bumpy side. We want the side with the air bubbles on it. That's going to give us the best snowflakes. So go ahead and roll that all out. Just like this. Get all the way to those edges too. And once you've got it all rolled out, we're going to take our blue piece of paper, kind of line it up, in one of the corners and press it on down. Once again, make sure as you're pressing, we want to get all the way to those edges, and careful that it doesn't slide around on you, because then it's going to make a little bit of a painting mess. It's not going to look as much like solid snowflakes. It's going to look more like one of those blizzards where it's like right all over the place. So lift on up. I love that sound. So good. We'll do this again. So I'll go ahead and roll some more paint onto my brayer and roll it onto my bubble wrap all the way to the edges. And I'm going to put it on the next corner, just like that. Careful not to let it move. Press it down all the way around, like that. Satisfying sound. Oh, love that. Now you'll probably notice on your piece of paper that we only have this kind of little sliver left. So when you're putting your paint on your bubble wrap this time, you really only need to do half of it, like that. Notice how I didn't put any on this half? Because it only needs to fill up this bottom section here. That way we're not making more of a paint mess, and we're also not wasting our paint. There we go. Whoop. And I've got one more section left to go. So I'll load up. And if you need to add more white paint, as needed, add more white paint as needed to your painter's palette or your parchment paper, whatever you're using. And we will get that last section here. Now, we've got one done. You've still got another one to go. So now that you know exactly how to do this, go ahead and add, woo! That went for a little joyride. Add the white paint to not just one piece of blue paper, but two, and have those drying out tonight so they're ready to go for next class. I'll see you then. Do your hands look like mine? We better go wash up. Okay, see ya!